So, morning, everyone. This is just a little bit about ginger and why it is definitely one of my favorites. In fact, this bottle is empty. So, I'm hoping to order a new one this month. Ginger, I think many of us know ginger for its very strong immune boosting qualities. It's also very good for any nausea and as a result, things like morning sickness and travel sickness. It's really good at settling the stomach. But I think many of us don't know any of the emotional qualities, and then also that it's got other properties and other uses beyond just stomach and digestion and immunity. And I'm going to be talking about some of those today. So its main properties are antiseptic, antispasmodic, antitussive, expectorant, and it's very good for nausea. Well, certainly the way I use it most is I actually love to have it drop in my warm water in the morning with a drop of lemon. So I actually start my day not just with the lemon for detoxing, but I actually find the ginger very fortifying and very strengthening. So I use it, and emotionally it's very strengthening, which I'll talk about just now. So I use a drop of it in warm water to start most mornings. And it helps to really boost my immune system. So according to the Advanced Oil Magic book, its top uses are nausea and stomach upset using 1 to 2 drops in a capsule. So it is in Zengest already. It's in the blend Zengest and in Smart and Sassy and MetaPower, because it's got this very supportive effect on the digestive tract. So yeah, drinking 1 to 2 drops in a capsule or even in water. It is a warmer oil, but I often have 2 drops in a bit of water. Vomiting, one can rub a drop over the stomach. And when it is a warm oil, you do want to be careful to put a little bit of carrier oil, like a smear of coconut oil and a drop of ginger, and put it over the area. But it's very soothing because it is such a warming oil. It's also very good for constipation. And then for immune support, taking 1 to 2 drops on the bottom of the feet or drinking in a capsule. So that's why it's part of my sort of daily routine, having a drop in warm water. It also says for congestion and cough, which I haven't used it for like this, diffusing 3 to 6 drops in a diffuser. But I would think it would be very, very opening of the airways and very uplifting. And then colds and flu, 1 to 2 drops on the feet or drinking in the capsule. And with all of these oils, when we use it for cooking, start off by just using a toothpick full. Like you dip a toothpick in it and then put it into your cooking, because when we do 1 or 2 drops, it can be quite overpowering for the cooking. So those are some of the uses. But it also has very anti-inflammatory and anti-spasmodic properties. And the Essential Life book talks quite a lot more about using it for joint pain, for cramps, for muscle spasms. So again, that's where it would be so helpful for tummy cramps, but also for other sore muscles, just diluting it and massaging it into sore areas of discomfort, because it's got this warming property. So it also talks then again about nausea and morning sickness, motion sickness and vertigo, heartburn and reflux, all these digestive conditions. It's very good to take either in a capsule and lemon or in a drop of water, or even inhaled is very helpful too. And then it's very good for addictions and blood sugar imbalances. So taking it in a capsule helps to balance our blood sugar levels, which is why it's in things like Smart and Sassy and MetaPower. And then things like alcohol addiction, it says take in a capsule to ease cravings. So that's why, again, when we have the MetaPower drops and the MetaPower gum to help us ease cravings when we are in a craving cycle of sugar, or and alcohol often is a sugar craving as well. And then good for cold, flu, sore throats, taking in a capsule, gargling and applying to the bottom of the feet. And the emotional qualities are from apathetic to activated. And the Essential Emotions book talks about it being letting go of our victim mentality. So, sorry, I had this open. Here we go. Empowerment. So it's about ginger empowers individuals to take complete responsibility for their life circumstances. It infuses warrior-like mentality based on integrity, personal responsibility, and individual choices. So the negative emotions that it helps you get over are victim mentality, powerlessness, unwilling to take responsibility, feeling defeated, and stuck. And it helps you to feel empowered, committed, capable, purposeful, and accountable. And so I really feel it as a sort of strengthening oil. It helps to strengthen me when I take it internally, strengthens me physically and emotionally. It's also one of the uses here which I haven't used it for, is to using on sprains and broken bones, using diluted to apply to sprain or break to promote healing. So it's very interesting that is also used. So again, our oils have side benefits, but the main properties are warming, accelerating, and stimulating. So it stimulates the immune system, stimulates our body's healing response. It warms and soothes sore areas. So that's just a very short insight on ginger. And this month we have ginger drops, which are lovely lozenges. They've got this is the product of the month. They've got a lemon and ginger sort of flavor. They are sweetened, but they are very soothing for a sore throat. They're very good for car trips. If you have someone who struggles with travel sickness, they're very good for morning sickness. Anything where you have a lot of digestive stuff or nausea, and then also very good for just boosting your immune system. So it's like having a drop of lemon and ginger in a lozenge. I also love when I am feeling a little bit under the weather, making rooibos tea and putting a drop of ginger and a drop of lemon in that, and having that as my afternoon tea, or something to just boost my immune system. Yeah, so that's a little bit about ginger. I wondered if there are any questions or any ways that you've used ginger.
Nikki, I just wanted to ask you, can one ever overdose on these things? I mean, because it's so good for so many things. And it's
a good question. And I think one does need to get to know one's own body. And I always, with the oils, we say start slowly and use them slowly and see how your body responds. It's important to check in with your body to see how it is feeling. So, I mean, our maximum number of doses for internally is about 24 drops, but that's a huge amount. And for many people, just having one drop of oil internally to start is a lot, because the body is not used to the mechanism of the oils. But it's hard to know when we don't know what the individuals are actually doing and using. But I would start very slowly. But you can start with a hot oil like this, diluting it and putting a drop in a coconut oil. But if there's something more specific, so because I often will use a roller for emotions and for calming. I'll use the lemon and ginger in my tea in the morning. I'll have Meta Power in my water bottle. And for me, my body reacts well to that. But for other people, they might find that they have to start, children and older people, sometimes we just use the oils topically to start with and not using them as much internally. So it is a very personal response, because I know, certain people respond very strongly to oils, and it also sometimes depends on our toxic load in our bodies. If our body's got quite a high toxic load, we might be very reactive to them. If our body's more used to the oils, and they can often be more settled. It doesn't react as strongly. So I'm sorry not to be able to give you a more clear answer, but we can chat a little bit about your.
No, it makes sense, because I keep on going back to that there's not another person on the planet that has my breath code or my fingerprint, or, you know, we're so individual. So it's quite difficult to always know what's going to suit one person compared with another.
Yeah.
But you did.
And then
Thank
we
you.
also have, you know, in Ayurvedic medicine, we've got our different constituencies, which we've got like the pitta and the oh, I've forgotten all the, but it's like the earth and the air and the fire and the water. And so something I find I'm more of the air constituent. I've forgotten what that is. So I find the nourishing grounding of ginger very helpful. But I also prefer like a heavier sort of carb. Yes, vata, thank you. And whereas other people might find that the grounding, they need more uplifting, and so they need other things. So yeah, it is very, very individual, but we definitely do recommend to go slow.
Thank you.
Yeah. Vata and Kapha. So yeah, thanks, Candice. Candice mentions that gingers also uses a blood thinner, which is so helpful for a lot of people who are needing to have more support with their blood thinning. It would be a nice thing to have a drop of ginger in warm water.
I've just come out of a revolting gastro. I was literally throwing up and what have you, and I didn't know. I used the ginger with the lemon for the nausea, but I didn't know about it being warming, which is such a nice thing to know now. I'm sure that won't be the last time.
Oh, shame, Cheryl. I'm sorry to hear that. There have been some nasty tummy bugs going around for adults and children. Yeah, and I think, as you say, putting diluted onto the stomach would be very comforting.
Yeah, so thanks. That's a great takeaway.
Pleasure. So thanks, everyone. I want to just keep this short so that people listen to recordings, because sometimes if it's too long, it's off-putting. So I'm going to stop the recording, and if you want to ask any questions afterwards, you're welcome.